when did you join the HoYoverse Creator Program? And then secondly, did you reach Twitch partner before you got in, or was this after?
Good question, because I can't remember if I actually was a partner before or after I was part of Hoyo Creators. I think I want to say after. I was probably more confident to actually join it after I got the check mark. I imagine that's how it went down. I could be wrong. If my memory serves me correctly, though, I'm right. But my memory is of a rock, so I could totally be wrong.
Do you remember that email? Do you remember the day you got the email, how you felt when you got accepted?
I remember being told, and I just remember thinking like, oh my god, this is actually so freaking cool. I remember that. I remember the feeling, not the day, but the feeling. It was really nice. God, they noticed me. No way. Like, I've been playing this game forever, and oh my god, they noticed me. Yeah, I remember. I remember the feeling.
And when you finally got in, did you have any expectations, or because old HoYoverse versus new HoYoverse, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but what was the beginning of the experience like?
It was yeah, they were a lot less stingy. I will say that. I will definitely say that. It was easier to be able to make sure that your content was submitted and recognized, and you would get more rewards out of it. Now it's a little more tedious. It could still be done. There's still stuff. But I just remember when they did that change, when they did a change and it was a big change. We were all just kind of like, what? We were all kind of taken by surprise. But no, it was, yeah. It was definitely a difference, but I'm still happy to be part of the program, though. I'm happy. I know that I still do get like rewarded for content that is made. I just have to remember to submit it, because if I don't submit it, I get jack. Because I didn't submit it.
Yeah, I've always I see people make announcements now on. I started playing Genshin when Genshin first released. I think in October. I think the game originally came out. Mm-hmm. Around that time, and I was playing Monster Hunter World, and I had people telling me like, hey man, go play Genshin, everybody's on the Genshin wave. And I was like, y'all are not gonna suck me into no Genshin game or no gacha game at that, so y'all can go find something to do. I'm gonna stick over here. And then it was like November, the next month, I was like, okay, I'll try it, whatever. And then at that point, I was like, all right, I'll keep playing, sure. Because Monster Hunter World was dying, and I low-key needed a game to just go to next anyway, because Monster Hunter was just like, I logged in one day on Twitch, and like the directory had like 600 people in it. I was like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
There's no success here anymore.
You gotta go from it before.
Let me go. Yeah. So I started in, I want to say November, because that's when it says my first 5-star happened. So that's when I started playing the game. And then from there, for me, it was just like, cool, this is nice. I know when I first got into the Hoyo Creator Program, it was kind of cool. I felt like the content that I was doing kind of mattered, because most people were putting out guides and stuff, and I wasn't at the time. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got in doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now it's definitely different, because I don't do guides or whatever, and it's just a different vibe. When for HoYoverse, being that you were accepted, and your content is Genshin Impact, you play Honkai Star Rail, you're playing Zenless Zone Zero now. Do you feel at any point either overwhelmed with the content, or is it starting to get the burnout?
Funny enough, both, which is so weird to say. Burnout I've actually been dealing with Genshin. Like Honkai Star Rail, and obviously not Zenless Zone Zero, it just came out. But with Honkai Star Rail, I don't necessarily feel that. It's just with Genshin, because I've been playing Genshin Impact for 3 years. I wasn't playing since it came out, but I was playing since a few months after. But I definitely want to say I do feel overwhelmed. But part of that is because of me, though. And I mean that because I was not that this is a Hoyo game, but I was waiting for Wuthering Waves to come out. I was like so excited to get on that wave, right? And of course, that doesn't mean I was going to quit Genshin cold turkey. Like, I wanted to still play my Hoyo games. But life happened. And I'm not going to get into that, but I had to go on a hiatus to take care of some life stuff. The thing that sucks is that this hiatus had to happen when Wuthering Waves came out, and because I never have taken an actual proper break since I started streaming, ever. I mean, like, maybe I took a couple weeks off, but even then I was still making it for a stream or two, because, like, oh yeah, I have to fulfill a sponsor, I have to make sure I get this done. But, like, with the hiatus, that was the first time since I, like, ever started streaming that I actually was on a proper break. And coming back, I realized, oh my god, I have so much to catch up on. This is gonna be a little overwhelming. So I'm still catching up on stuff, and it feels weird because it's like it's these are video games at the end of the day. These are things like you wind down to, but when we end up making it our jobs, it's also just kind of like, crap, I still gotta catch up on this though. I gotta hype myself up to get to do something that a lot of people wind down to.
Right.
Yeah, I love doing these things, obviously. That's why I still do it, and that's why I'm still here. But of course, it's just, it was definitely something to think like, dang, this is actually overwhelming. And it sucks that out of all the times, it was this time that I had to take my first ever hiatus. So, but even if, I wonder if even if I didn't take a hiatus, I would still be overwhelmed, because I've been seeing a lot of people say that they have felt overwhelmed with everything, all the banners, all the stories that they have to record videos for, all the content, which is a beautiful thing that, like, yeah, at least we have stuff that we can be able to make content out of. Rather it be that than the other way around. But of course, it's still just, it's just picking our battles.